Hi, I'm Debbie Cole. I'm at Stampendous today, and I'm going to be showing you some tools and techniques from our new Stamp and Paint program. You're going to love this program because it's going to save you time and make painting easy to do. Hi, in this video I'm going to show you how to load stamps with paint. And I'm going to show you first how I use cosmetic sponges. There's two different types of cosmetic sponges, and you can see one is much larger than the other one. The larger one's a lot more firm and the smaller one's more flimsy. I really prefer to use the larger cosmetic sponges when I'm going to load my stamps with paint. The first thing I will do is I will go and I will load them with water. And I just want to make it damp. And then I'll come over to my paper towel and remove as much water as possible just so that the sponge is dampened. Then I load the sponge into a puddle of paint, and I come over, and you can see how gloppy it is. I come over and I offload it. And at this point you can see that there's just way too much paint on the sponge. What I'll do is I'll keep offloading until there's a nice smooth and even application of paint. And all you can see is the sponge. Then I come over to my surface and I very quickly apply the paint to my stamp. Once I know that there's a nice even coverage on the stamp, I then stamp it onto my surface. I press down the stamp and I just use even pressure. I do not rock it. Just apply a lot of pressure, and when you lift it up you should have a really nice impression. The second method I'm going to use is I use my Creative palette as pretty much as a stamp pad. So I'm going to just take the paint that I had here, and you have to make sure that the paint has not dried up. And what I'm going to do is create a nice thin application of paint on the Creative palette. You can see that there's some puddles here. I want to make sure that all of those are gone and that there's just a thin application here. Then I'll come in with my stamp and just press the stamp into the paint because it will load fairly quickly. And I want to make sure that there's not too much on there. But what I can do is come over here and just print it just a little bit to see what kind of impression I'm going to get. That looks pretty good. And then I'm going to again press down, not rocking it, and lifting it up. Then the last method that I use to load my stamps with paint is by using the brayer. And I think this is a very easy one and probably the fastest, especially when you're using a larger stamp like this. I make sure that there's no clumps of paint, no puddles anywhere. And then I'm going to just roll over the stamp. And this is one of my favorite stamps. It's one of our Jumbo Trio butterfly stamps. And again, I'm going to press it down, add pressure without rocking, lift the stamp up, and you get a really nice impression. Thank you for joining me in this video. I hope you'll join me for our next video when I show you how to make interesting backgrounds and patterns using stamps and paint.